Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I know that it's been a while, but I'm back. I said that before, but I have a couple of videos already recorded and planned out for you all, so I'm not going to be jumping off the face of the earth for a little while after this. I filmed some things out of order, so this video is going to come up first, and then I think there should be a couple videos about my year with the Herbcrafter tarot. But for now, we're doing this. I have been kind of wanting something that spans a little bit more than just my month ahead readings and a little bit shorter than my year ahead reading. So I need something that's a little bit in between, and I decided that I'm going to do a grand tableau of the major arcana for each season. So I get kind of a overview of how the season's going to look for me. It's the perfect middle reading, I think. And I did one at the beginning of the year, but it was kind of, I did it on a whim. And this is going to be my very first one really doing it intentionally. So I've decided that I'm going to do this grand tableau, even though it's the middle of April now. My grand tableau is going to be from the spring equinox, the vernal equinox, to the summer solstice. So that's what the reading is going to touch on, just my life in general and everything that has to do with it. And then hopefully around the summer solstice, I'll take a look at this and see, kind of do a little review and see how much of it really felt true and see if it's something that I want to continue. So I am going to shuffle up these cards and we'll get the reading laid out. So I didn't divide the deck up and separate the majors out. I just shuffled the whole thing because honestly, I think that just having the majors makes it a little bit difficult for me to get in the zone and shuffle the way that I like to shuffle and shuffle as thoroughly as I can. So I'm just going to go through and flip each card over until I get all of the major arcana for this reading. So I will see you all in a minute. There's also a cattail. I'm not so sure. She does what she wants, so it's going to be difficult. We're just going to have to work around her. I'm going to try and line everything up in a little bit so that everything fits in frame. And hopefully my assistant who's got her tail in my mouth will have settled down by then. Maybe I'll make her a little throne so that she's comfy and out of the way. Here, come sit over here. She doesn't care for the bed. Hang on, I'm not done. So we have Cat in the middle of the reading. I'm not sure how to interpret that, but maybe she'll tell us her message on her own. I'm just gonna scooch these around so that we've got some insight. Do you want to assist me, sweet girl? You know, she's sitting on death. Maybe she can keep that one for now. Well, actually, I need you to scooch over. Come here. I'm gonna try and condense a little bit more, because I want all of the cards to be in frame. And then we will go through them and talk about it all. All right, I gave myself a little cheat sheet so that I know exactly which card I'm looking at as I'm looking at it. If you are not familiar with the Grand Tableau, this is from Lenormand. So the Grand Tableau comes from Lenormand, where you take all of the cards. It's a smaller deck. you take all of the cards and you lay them out and you read them, and each card has a position. So for tarot, doing this with the major arcana, we lay it out, and the first position would be considered the house of the Fool. So this is kind of the beginning energy and the Fool energy, and this is how the energy of the Fool is going to be showing up for me for the spring. And then we go Magician, High Priestess, Empress, Emperor, Hierophant, Lovers, and so on and so forth. So this is how it is. Okay, I'm just going to take a quick look and point out some things that stand out to me first, and then maybe go card by card. So it's interesting to me that we have these two close to each other, but not in order. So this would be the Chariot card, but it's the Chariot house. And it's so interesting that these are almost in their houses. So that's kind of strong energy for them here. It's also interesting that the Hermit is my very last card, because I have been really thinking about the Hermit energy lately. It's been something that I've been marinating on since March, because the Hermit is my birth card, and there's a lot of energy that I feel coming out around this card. And it's a card that also the Hermit showed up for me in my month ahead spread for April in the coming energy. So it's interesting that this energy will be wrapping itself up and renewing in the spring. The Fool is in Justice, so the Hanged One in Justice. So my desire and urge to start new things will probably either take a lot of work or be put on the back burner, because there are other things that demand my attention. So instead of focusing on my drive to begin new things, I should focus on what is already established and growing that instead. Death is in the House of Death. So this is an interesting and very strong thing, and the energy of ending and beginning again is something that I am going to have to look out for this season, because it seems like it's going to be some strong energy. And I mean, of course, spring is all about death and rebirth, so it makes sense why it would have a strong energy for the season. Excuse me, Beanie. Okay, we've got some pacing going on. Let's see. I am curious to see how this death comes with the Hanged One. I think that maybe it's going to be talking to me about, I want to have new beginnings, but before I can start new things, I have to end. Certain things need to end, and I need to do that myself before I will be ready to have new things coming. Another thing that just caught my eye is the moon is in the position of the High Priestess. And I feel like those energies are very connected, being kind of secretive and intuitive and the unknown. So it's going to be interesting to see how my intuition and how my spirituality really shows up this season. I love to see the Awakening, which is the Judgment card, in the position of the Empress, because I think that that is a sign that my creativity and that energy that I have towards creation is going to be blossoming. I'm going to be having these huge things of like bouts of inspiration, but it also could be kind of a warning, like, I don't know, actually. I think that it's probably not a warning, because I think that this will be my realization and cementing, or at least for now, the knowledge that creativity can't ever run out, and that you only create more creativity by using up the creativity that you have, and the inspiration and the ideas that you come up with will continue to flow and grow when you use it. The Emperor having the Tower is not a card that I am too mad to see, actually, because my routines lately have gotten really stale, and my just schedule and it's just non-existent. So having the Tower come and shake up that energy is something that I seem like I might need. I think that ripping everything down and starting routine and schedule right from the beginning, and looking at what isn't serving me now and what I can do to make better choices in the future, the Tower is really going to help that. The Hierophant being with the Lovers, I really don't think that I know very much about what that's going to be entailing. I'll be curious to see if anything shows itself for that for me. No, sweet girl, you may not sit right there. She's lucky we're almost finished with the top row. I'm just going to scooch her tail. Okay. The Hierophant and then the Lovers being in the Chariot. That's going to be interesting. Lately, I've really been viewing the Lovers card as making commitments, and not only making a choice, but making that decision, like, yes, this is what I'm going to put my focus and put my energy into. So it's going to be interesting to see where I'm being asked to make commitments. And also, it could be about my relationships. So, like, what my relationships are going to look like. They're going to be kind of fast-paced and lots of movement and stuff. And my cat is sitting on my thing. Okay, so if that's the Lovers, then we have 7, which is the Chariot. And I love, love, love to see the star in the Chariot position, because I look at the star as being a guidance, and it's the North Star. It's where you can look to for navigation, for assistance, and in addition to that, it's this card of everything's going to be okay, and it's not only in your hands, so it's going to, everything will work out in the end. So having this card show up for my spring is nice, especially because the Chariot is my year card, because I calculated it, and, I did, the birth card, but for your birthday, for your year. I've really been grappling with a lot of Chariot energy and just kind of figuring all of that out, and it'll be nice to know that the reins that I have in my hands are not just in my hands, and that I'm being assisted on this journey and shown the way. So that's really a relief, because lately I've been feeling more Tower year than Chariot year. So it's going to be good to have some assistance in guiding the reins. The Strength card is the High Priestess. And I wonder if this is going to be, I don't know, like a shadow work time. It's going to be me looking and knowing where to offer my strength, where to ask for strength, and maybe not knowing exactly. I don't know. This one we'll see about. Temperance is in the Wheel of Fortune position, and that feels very nice because it seems like the Wheel of Fortune is one of those cards where it is really all up in the air and you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how your luck is going to turn, whether for the good or for the bad. And it looks like things are going to be balancing out for me in regards to the Wheel of Fortune and everything changing. So I think things might be leveling out and getting a little bit smoother this season rather than the kind of chaos that I felt for most of the winter. In Justice, we have the Magician, and I think that it's maybe telling me that either I need to look more objectively at things, I need to zoom out, and when I'm thinking about myself and looking at life, to not just look at each minute thing, but look at it as a whole. Or to realize that although Justice is one of those cards that are objective, I can recognize my subjectivity and also realize that I am the one who's holding the sword and the balance. I am the one making those decisions and calling the shots. I'm the judge. It's not someone else is being justice for me. I'm stepping into the role of justice. So that'll be interesting to see what comes about from that. The Hanged One, which is so interesting that we have the Fool. I think I mentioned this. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Am I off? Strength. The Hermit. Yes, I was off. Okay, so the Hermit energy is going to be balanced out, and that's actually also nice. So I messed up a little bit. I'm going to leave everything in so you can see kind of my interpretations, but the Hermit energy is what is going to be balanced out. So I think that is going to be my life stuff in general. It's going to be a balancing out of being alone and being internal and focusing on looking within, in addition to, or in balance with, coming into alignment with my external world, my social life, and all of that. It's going to be more even. And I feel like it has been pretty uneven lately, so it's going to be balanced out, and I like that. Now we have the Wheel of Fortune with the Magician. It actually is a really nice card to see here because I am in control of my luck. I'm in control of it, so I'm the one who's turning the wheel and choosing to allow that change to happen. That's going to be nice. Then we have Justice here. And there's going to be new objective decisions, or I don't know exactly what justice in, or the Fool in Justice is going to really mean. I'm definitely going to have to look into this and remember this and pay attention to it. Now, the Hanged One is, the world is in the Hanged One, and wow. So I think although death and those endings are going to have prominent energy in spring for me, the renewal and rebirth part of it is not. And that will either be something for the spring, or I'm not sure. I think that I'm going to be struggling with those new beginnings. And that is definitely something that I'm going to have to journal on, just because it's showing up so much in 3 different cards. We'll have to see what that's really on about. 14, the sun in temperance is going to be nice. I don't really have very much to say about these because both of them are positive cards. It seems like there's going to be some bringing into the light and some rational realization that balances out, or the rational side of myself is going to be balanced out by that hopeful, light, inner child energy. And it's going to be a mix of that for this. And that's going to be nice because I think that sometimes I let myself be too serious all the time, too rational, too in the physical world, too earthy, when I really should be more cups and more wands and very imaginative and just letting myself roam and play, and not everything has to be so serious. And I think that I need to remember that with this card in this position. The Emperor being in the position of the Devil, I think just kind of reiterates where the Tower is in the Emperor position as well, because I will have to do shadow work around my routines and my schedule and the habits that I have right now. I need to look at them and say, are these healthy? And the Tower is going to help me break away from those chains and the belief, the misguided belief that my routine and everything is healthy and is where it should be. Okay, next is the Wheel of Fortune in the position of the Tower. And I think that just means that the shake-up energy that I'm feeling is going to change, and maybe it will show up in different ways than it has been lately, because the Tower energy has really been pretty prevalent in my life since starting my Chariot year. So having this card in the Tower position, showing that my Tower energy is going to be changing and shifting places, changing the way it looks, is definitely refreshing, because I need that desperately. I need the Tower energy to show itself in a different way for me, and it looks like that's coming. Next, we have Strength in the position of the Star, and both of these cards are ones that I view as really pretty positive. So it just seems like they're going to be kind of cementing on each other. And also that I will have to work to have that faith and have that understanding that I'm on the right path. I think I'll need to do some work around that just to really get it into my head, because sometimes I do question and wonder and think, and I think that doing some journaling, doing some meditation, doing anything that will help me get out of that energy is going to be good. We have a hairy Empress in the position of the Moon. I really don't know about this. I don't know what this is going to entail. The celestial cards are sometimes ones that I struggle with a little bit and have a trouble interpreting. So I'm going to be interested to see how this shows up in this season for me. Next, we have the Devil in the Sun position. And I think that this is kind of what I was talking about before with the Sun being in Temperance and needing that balance. And I'm going to have to do some shadow work around why I want to be so rational and why I won't allow myself to really be a kid and have that mindset anymore. So shadow work is going to be a key thing, I think, this season. For judgment, we have the Hierophant, and it's kind of interesting. Those are both shadowy cards for some people. I think that this is going to be an awakening in some traditional sense or something. Maybe I'll have some awakenings on the traditional lifestyle and my belief that I need that, and realize that it's okay to not have that and to be on your own path. That is something that I really need, because that is something that I've been struggling with for a while. And then we talked quite a lot about this one. Let me know all of your thoughts down below if there's something that I missed in interpreting that you were really drawn to and want to point out for me, because I am open to everybody's assistance when it comes to reading cards for myself. So yeah, that's all I've got for you right now. I hope that you're all doing well, and it's so nice to be back with you all. I'll see you all later.